compared to what the applicant pool was in 2005. So.
And you don't have a test very often, do you?
No, we don't. Our last one was 2005.
What?
In the entrance test for police and firefighters in St. Paul are normally the lists are good for 2 years and can be extended a year at a time until there's a new test. Well, ours went 5 years, which is a little bit unusual.
Yeah, is it?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
And so what is the process then? Once you've taken the test, what else needs to happen before you can become a firefighter?
There's, well, once you apply for it, there's two portions of the test. There's a written portion and a physical portion, and each one of those separate test portions has a preparation phase. So right now we're preparing candidates or applicants for the written test. Then they'll take that, and the ones who pass it will go on to prepare and take the physical test. And that will happen throughout the spring of 2010 here. And hopefully by the end of May, we'll have the test all complete, and then we'll have a hiring list generated from that. And we'll use that to hire for the next couple of years.
And do you know how many people you might be able to hire soon coming up, or is it just you just have this pool and you hire whenever something comes open? That's
exactly right. Okay. It's a certified hiring list, and we'll use it to fill any vacancies or any new positions that we have in the rank of firefighter. So okay. I'm thinking that in the next few years we'll have 30 to 50, somewhere in there, taken off this list, maybe more, maybe less.
Okay, yeah. Good. And one of the other qualifications for becoming a firefighter is having an EMT license.
That's correct. Yep.
And you're actually taking steps to help help address that, what could be a barrier actually to a number of minorities and women.
And that was identified. A lot of the communities of color came forward and said, you know, that EMT, Emergency Medical Technician course, is about 160 hours long, and it's expensive. And in order to go to that class, we have to give up our taking care of our families or going to school or
having another job.
Having another job, just like all of us that have to go through school. But it's a significant barrier to people who are in the lower economic statuses. So we work together with Workforce Solutions, Ramsey County Workforce Solutions, and the Youth Job Corps, which is a federal funded program to pay young kids and young adults for summer jobs. And they wanted to, they first approached the fire department and said, how do we pay young adults to work in the fire department on this program? And I said, not really a good way to do that, because if we make them or ask them to do something in the fire station, the fire trucks might go out on an emergency call and there's nobody left behind to supervise them or help with their education or supervising. So I said, why don't you pay them to go to EMT school, because then when they graduate, they'll have the prerequisites for the fire test. And so that's exactly what we did. We paid them to go to summer school, and the summer school they went to was the EMT course. They came out, they were fully certified, nationally certified EMTs, and now they can get jobs in the fire department or in healthcare or in emergency medicine. So it was a good program. We ran 2 academies so far, one in the summer, last summer, and one in the fall. We got about 22 graduates from that program. Some of them took the fire tests or are in the process of taking the fire tests, and others got jobs in EMS, emergency medicine, around the metro area. So I'd like to keep that program going full time.
Yeah, so that's a great program. My understanding is it's very successful as far as the diversity of candidates.
That's right.
Or graduates now.
Yep.
Yeah, so congratulations.
Thanks.
We're almost out of time. I've probably got 2 more questions I can maybe ask you. So I'll start with the first one. Tell me a little bit more about some of the other innovative partnerships that you've been engaged in the last year.
Well, we've there's been
maybe 2.
There's been a lot of. Well, you had asked before the program started about the helicopter program, so we'll talk about that just a little bit. And that was just an idea that we had talked about, a number of us, and we went to the State Patrol and said, look, you have some unique assets for rescue and search. One of the pieces of equipment the State Patrol has is what we call a FLIR, a forward-looking infrared radar. It's basically a heat-sensing camera system on the helicopters. And we've used it in a number of fires before where they've flown over an area and they can detect the hot spots, if you will, through this camera. And then they can either talk to a firefighter or downlink the video to a firefighter down at the scene, and they know where to attack the fire in a large building. So we started to explore that opportunity with the State Patrol, and that seems to be a nice partnership that's going somewhere, and we can help them, obviously, by being better able to respond to their aviation emergencies, and they can help us. And so that's kind of a fun cooperative venture that's really in its fledgling stages right now, so that'll be good.
And hopefully save some firefighters' lives
I
as
hope
well.
So.
Yes,
I hope so.
for sure.
So.
The last question then.
Okay.
You're heading into another year.
Yeah.
What is on your plate? What do you hope to accomplish by the end of this year?
The big change for us, the big initiative for St. Paul Fire this year is to put some new emergency medical services operations in play. And basically 3 new ambulances, 3 new paramedic rigs in the city in a unique way that we haven't had done before. In our current system, a 4-person crew, a 4-person company, operates both a fire engine and a medic rig. And so when they go on a medical call, there's nobody to staff the fire truck, and vice versa. Well, we want to put some 2-person rigs into the mix so that basically 6 people would operate a fire truck and a paramedic rig, and they'd be independently staffed, so they both could go out in operation. And it sounds kind of an elementary step, but for us it's a huge undertaking and a lot of moving parts on that. So getting a federal grant to provide us with the personnel for that.
I was going to ask if that's more personnel that we can look forward to.
That was 18 new people, the guys I went through the academy with. And so we will be looking at their impact, hopefully shorter response times and more availability for fire and EMS units. And that'll be a big undertaking for this year.
Good. Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully you'll be able to get that done.
I'm confident.
Yes.
So.
We have just, I think, a little bit more time.
Okay.
Since you are so good at quickly answering the questions. The Project Safe Haven was something that we hadn't gotten a chance to talk about yet.
I'd love to talk about
quickly,
that.
Can you do
Project
that?
Safe Haven was a program we put into place last year. And in America, in Minnesota, and in St. Paul, most of the property damage, most of the injuries, and most of the fire fatalities happen in the home. They're not in businesses, they're not in warehouses, they're not in cars. They're in 1 and 2 person, or 1 and 2 family units. And so we developed a program, and those units aren't inspected. They're not part of the fire code, they don't get inspected on a regular basis, but that's where the fires are happening. So we put in this program called Project Safe Haven, and basically what it is the homeowner takes a checklist, a safety checklist, goes through their home and checks for common fire and accident risk factors and tries to reduce them, you know. Then they call the fire department, and the fire department comes out and helps them double check their work, if you will, and they go around and they test the smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors. We'll install them for you if you don't have one in place. We help your family practice a escape from the home drill, so you know how to get out in times of a fire. And we do that as a courtesy program. It's a non-compliance inspection. We don't enforce any rules. We advise the family. We won't call LEAP. What we do is work in partnership with the homeowner to make your property safe and your family healthy. So
what a wonderful program.
And you can call the Project Safe Haven line and get an application off the web, or you can call 228-6273.
Love.
And we'll come and help you out there.
Perfect wrap. So, perfect wrap. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chief Butler, for joining us on the St. Paul Forum. Pleasure to have you. Thanks. And you can find out more information about the St. Paul Fire Department, Project Safe Haven, and other items that we talked about at stpaul.gov, the website. Just look for Fire Department. Thank you for watching. I hope you will join us again next time on the St. Paul Forum.